All right, a warm welcome to everybody to our webinar here for the MS Business Analytics Flex program. My name is Gaurav Shekhar, and I'm the program director for the Flex and Online Business Analytics program. I'm joined here by my colleague, Mrs. Sylvia Leventhal. She is the program manager for the program. So between the two of us, we are your contact for anything that's happening in the program. The agenda for today's webinar is very simple. We'll spend the next 15-20 minutes talking about some of the aspects of the program, some information related to application and the program itself, and then we'll straight away jump into your questions. Your questions are important, and we want to make sure that we give you enough time to ask those questions. The best way to ask them is just put them in the chat while we are speaking, and as we are done with this, we'll take those questions and make sure that they are part of this recording, because right after this webinar, we will upload this recording of the webinar onto our YouTube channel. So you have access to that if you want to watch it later. All right, so before we just jump into business analytics at UT Dallas, I always like taking some time to just think about or reflect on why business analytics. We have so many degree programs. UT Dallas offers more than 140 different programs. And I'm sure that there are other institutions that you're probably looking at, but in this, this galaxy of degrees, why are we thinking about business analytics? Why has it become such an important degree in the recent times? I mean, if you look 15 years ago, there was no degree program like this anywhere. The first degree program did come out in the year 2007 in the US. And in the next few years, there was a race to start a business analytics program. So why have it as a separate degree program? And the answer to that is very simple. There is data everywhere. Now, when the 70s came in, one of the greatest revolutions was the personal computers. Computers, which were supposed to be big, expensive devices, became affordable enough so that they can enter homes. They can enter small and medium businesses. And having computers at that level is a game changer. Now, any computer has software applications, and those software applications are developed and designed to do one thing: data management. So it has always been about data. And when it has been about data, the quest to understand what does this data mean has also been there for a long time. The 70s was mostly about writing those software applications, storing your data. The 80s was more about fine-tuning that. But in the 90s, somewhere people realized that they have this heaps of data that they're not using. And at that point of time, those industry leaders came forward in terms of how you can really use that to your advantage. Because this data is, any historical data is solid facts. And when you have facts to make decisions, why do you want to just go with your hunch? So they use different techniques through which they could understand patterns. They could understand, what their highs and lows are there outliers, like making a sense of their businesses through the language that the data presented. And that led to a lot of solid decision making, because now people understood why exactly their business was going in a certain direction based on the actions that they are put into place. So companies moved away from just experience-based decision making to inculcating the element of data in it as well. Now, the other important thing is, it's not just, now looking at 2023, it's not just the tech sector, which is heavily digital, uses a lot of software applications, that is really the candidate for business analytics. Any sector has that digital component. You think about real estate, you think about oil and natural gas, you think about healthcare, everything is relying on the strength that is provided by their data-focused tools and frameworks. The next reason why this is an important degree is because there's a dearth of qualified professionals who can really understand this language. There aren't a whole lot of people. Even though we run the largest program in the country and we are belting out a few hundred graduates every semester from this program, we still are not even the tip of the iceberg. And there are a lot of people out there in the industry who are working in very data-centered roles. They may not have the same training. So there is a dearth of qualified professionals who can very easily understand what those data patterns look like. And that's where it's an opportunity for you, because when there is shortage in terms of supply and you're one of the people who have that skill set, definitely your book value goes up. This program has a lot of different guiding themes, and the three main ones that we have that we want to make sure that every student feels that every time in whatever they're doing, flexibility. What kind of classes you need to take, what order you need to take them in, what electives you want to take. This program has 36 credits, and we'll see that in a moment. But can I customize my degree? Can I customize my experience? Can I customize my outcomes from the program? Absolutely, you can do that. Engagement is key, whether it is inside the classroom or outside the classroom. We have seen that if you are an engaged student, it changes a lot of things. It is very focused on outcomes, because again, when we do something, we want to see that what was the benefit, how you were benefited in terms of the activities that you participated in, the courses that you were in. Are there any resources that need to be provided to you to better your outcomes? We measure everything. So it's important for us, because at the end of the day, we just don't want to be doing things without having a strategy in mind, and that strategy ends with your success. That's important to us. All right, so how many tracks we have? We have 10 different tracks. These tracks are a grouping of, let's say, 8 to 10 different courses. The tracks that you see listed in front of you are the 10 ones that we have right now in the program, possibly working on an 11th track as well. But half the degree program is core classes, which means core classes is something that every student has to take. And then the remaining half of the program is electives. Now you can pick and choose courses from whichever track you want to. You don't have to declare anything, but you can take all the courses from one track, or you can take courses from multiple tracks. Whatever helps you and your reasoning why you wanted your degree, you can go with that. We have students that mostly take courses from multiple tracks because it's good to spread out a little bit in terms of your training. This is a STEM designated program, which means that if your employer is looking for STEM talent, this is the program. If you're an international student, the extended benefits of working on your student visa, through the optional practical training in additional 2 years, you can get through this program. We do offer entry in all 3 semesters, fall being our largest intake, followed by spring. In fact, today we are getting ready to welcome our students in our orientation for spring 24. And we do also have a small group of students that come to us in summer, that is in May. Again, kind of a little pivoting back to why our program. We are the largest in the country, largest on-campus graduate business analytics program in the country. The average starting salary is over $100,000. There are partnerships with dozens of companies. And when I say partnerships, this is not like we just know the companies on a high-hello basis. These companies are the ones that their executives are working with us on a lot of different things. They are there with us in the school, they're judging competitions, they're speaking in the classes, they're mentoring students, they're hiring students, they're doing a lot of things. Again, with the salary, the $100,000, that is with, let's say, 0 to 2 years of experience. The more experience you have, what we've seen is on an average, for each year of experience that you may have, you add another $10,000 per year. Internships is an important part. Internships are mandatory in the program, so you cannot graduate without doing an internship. And we see more than 600 of them pursue an internship, which is a great number. The pay for that is about $30 an hour, which is congruent to what we look at our full-timers. $30,000 amounts to about $60,000 a year. $60,000 as an intern. Now, what we have seen is there is a 1:2 ratio with an intern to a full-timer. If you're an intern and you're paid $1, you're paid $2 as a full-timer for the same role. So this is kind of in line with what we see. with our full-time placements as well. What are the different formats? This is a STEM designated program. So, and we have 3 different flavors. We have the Flex, Cohort, and online program. Flex program is the one that has all the tracks: data science, data engineering, accounting analytics, healthcare, social media analytics. You saw them, data engineering. 85% of the classes are face-to-face, and then we have a few that are online as well. It is self-paced, which means that you can decide how many courses you have to take, how you want to take it, and it's up to you. And it's state-funded, which means the more credits you take, the per credit hour rate goes down. The max number of credits that you can take is 18 credits in a semester. After 12 credits, there is no tuition that you have to pay. So technically, your credit number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 in the semester, they are free of tuition. We also have the cohort flavor here, which is, they offer 2 tracks, data science and accounting analytics. If that's your focus, most of the students that take the cohort program, they go together in terms of what kind of classes they're taking in most of the cases. Again, most of their classes are face-to-face, a few of them are online, and again, they're self-paced. The online program is designed keeping working professionals in mind, or somebody who wants the flexibility of doing things online. Well, data science and data engineering are the 2 tracks that we offer there. And again, it's 100% online. You don't have to do anything on campus. And again, it's self-paced. So whichever flavor you get into, you will see that there is a component of being self-paced, because we want to make sure that you are able to fit in the program based on your schedules. Now, we do offer GRE and GMAT waivers on a case-to-case basis. That is one of the requirements of the program, but we are able to offer you waivers. It's not a blanket waiver. You still will have to submit an application and then request a GRE or GMAT waiver. The thing is, as I said, it is case to case. We take about 10 business days to tell you whether you are granted that waiver or you need to write the GRE or GMAT. Scholarships are also available, and in case you're looking for scholarships, at that point of time, one of the requirements is that you must submit an official GRE or GMAT. So you may have got admitted with a waiver, and you can get admitted with a waiver, but when it comes to scholarships, you will have to just make sure that your official scores are with us. Which brings me to the application requirements here. Now we need the GRE or GMAT, and as I talked about the waivers, once you submit an application, you can just send us an email to jsomgradvising@UT-Dallas, and we'll take care of the waiver. We'll let you know in about 10 days. Transcripts are required, but unofficial ones will do. So if you have scanned copies of your transcripts, send that to us. For the decision purposes, we can use your scanned copies, but once you're admitted, you'll have to send us your official transcripts. We need your resume. The letters of recommendation, we need 3 of them, and then a personal objective statement. Now, the letter of recommendation out of the 3, 1 should come from a working professional. Now, this is somebody who may have worked with you, may not have worked with you. They just have to be a working professional. Now, if you have 2+ years of experience, all you need is 1 letter of recommendation at that point of time. To ones who have to send all 3, you can even, apart from the working professional, if you have a professor or somebody in your undergraduate institution that might be able to write a letter, we can accept that. Personal objective statement, it's a 1-page document, double-spaced, where you talk about why this degree program and how does this factor into your future. Scholarship applications. Now, if you're looking for fall of 24, May 1st is the deadline. May 1st means that you apply, you will send us a separate application for scholarship, and your official GRE and GMAT score should have reached to us. Now, don't wait until May 1st, because we give out decisions on a rolling basis. And let's say if you apply very close to the deadline, we may have run out of all scholarships. So I would say if you're thinking about fall, I would submit it by, maybe end of February, all these documents. The chances are better if you are. Right now it's open. So the chances are better because we always evaluate them on a rolling basis. There's a typo, spring 25. If you're looking for spring 25, your deadline is December 1st. TAships are not offered in the very first semester because we want you to spend one semester with us. We assign you as a TA to courses that you have taken, so that's why we need at least one semester. But in your very first semester, you can apply for TAships for the next semester. So let's say if you're joining us in fall of 24, then you can apply for TAships that are being offered for spring of 25. And we will only review your applications once you are done with your semester and see how you've done with your classes. But to the point, they're not offered in the very, very first semester. You can't be a TA in the first semester. Okay, just a little snapshot of some of our top employers for internships. So we can see companies like Ericsson. We have the North America headquarters very close to us. In fact, we have a lot of headquarters very close to the campus. The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex has about 25 of the Fortune 500 companies, their headquarters right within the Metroplex. That's a huge thing because for somebody like you all who would be looking for job opportunities, this is a thriving Metroplex. In fact, it is the fastest growing Metroplex in the US. They say that if Dallas-Fort Worth was a country by itself, it would be the 23rd largest economy in the world. Texas as a state has now risen to be the 8th largest economy in the world if it was a country by itself. So a lot of good things happening in the state. And that benefits not only us as an institution, but also students who are coming to us, getting their degrees, and then trying to make a career in the same place. And there are lots of opportunities to do that. One thing that I also like to ponder on is the split of the different types of jobs. Now, there is this very, I would say, a notion that most of the jobs in analytics are in the computer IT space, but you can see there's about just a quarter of them in that space. Every industry uses analytics. So this split somewhere tells us how that need is prevalent in all possible places. Now, it's enough of us talking. What I want you to do is, if you are on LinkedIn, to go to LinkedIn and look for this hashtag UTD MSBA. Look at the content tab, and you will see thousands of stories where students are talking about their experiences in the programs, working on internships, doing projects. There are so many things that are happening. And this is important because this gives you a first-hand account of, an unmoderated account of what our students are talking about. Now, let's say tomorrow you want to, or what they're doing, tomorrow you want to go and work at a company and you want to understand what does it take. Like, the example that we see here is of FedEx, Tesla, and Amazon. What does it take to work in these places? These accounts help you. These notes help you. These articles help you in understanding exactly what these students are doing. And again, these are, if you want to connect with them and ask them questions, absolutely, that's part of the fellowship that we have here with students. There are lots of student organizations at UT Dallas, more than 450 of them, with at least 70 of them in the School of Management, which makes us a really vibrant business school, having so many student organizations in the school. But some of the ones that were listed here are the big ones that our students are part of, like the SAP Users Group, Salesforce, Project Management Club, Women in Technology, Toastmasters, Marketing Analytics Club, Envision, which is data visualization, accounting analytics, I mean, you name it, the Big Data Club. There are lots of different clubs that you can be part of. These are all student-run organizations. There is a faculty advisor, but 99% of the work is done by our students, which gives you firsthand knowledge into how do you go about these different orgs in terms of running them. One bonus of coming to UT Dallas is the certificate programs. We have lots of different certificates that are carved out of our degree programs, which means if you take a course that gives you credit towards a certificate and a degree, you just have to take that class once. You have to pay the tuition once, and you will get credit towards multiple programs. Our students, by taking these 3 or 4 different courses, they're able to get a second diploma for free. Now, if you had just come to UT Dallas to get one of these certificates, they would cost you anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000. That's not the case anymore because, you are strategically taking those courses so that the credit applies to multiple places. So that's how you maximize on the money that you're spending at UT Dallas. Some of our certificates that are offered by the department are applied machine learning certificate, business intelligence, data mining, cybersecurity, enterprise systems, healthcare. Enterprise systems is all SAP. We are a very strong partner of the SAP University Alliance, one of the oldest members. So we make sure that our students are given the latest and the greatest that's happening in the market. Our contact details, our phone numbers and our email addresses. We love your emails because we want to make sure that you are getting the right information before you make a decision. And of course, that information is your right. So we want to make sure that you are connected with us. This webinar is one way, our emails is one way, our phones are one way. I mean, there are multiple ways. Whatever fits your needs, we will be able to help you out. Before we get into the Q&A, and I'm sure that you're putting some questions in the chat. If you've not done that, please do it. I just want to take a moment and go to our catalog page just to show what kind of courses we have. So we talked about the core courses, the 18 credit hours. That is this stack here. Questions like, and what does this help you with? See, any organization will ask you a few questions like, what happened? What happened is something where you're looking at descriptive stats, and that's where we have an advanced stats course to help you with that. The next question would be, what will happen? That's what you learn in predictive analytics. What do you recommend? You learn in prescriptive analytics. Does it make economic sense? Is applied econometrics. And then, of course, we have a modeling class. You can choose it with, R or Python. The SAS version, we will be phasing that out very soon. But we also have a foundational database course because at the end of the day, you should know how to query your databases or the data management piece of it. But then after that, you have all these different tracks that have 8 to 12 courses depending on the track. Like let's say data science, that's one of our very popular tracks. You can learn about big machine learning, NLP, programming for data science, organizing business analytics platforms, RPA, causal analytics, data visualization, everything that will help you in gaining skills that will help with data science. So again, as I said before, you don't have to declare a track. You don't have to tell us that I'm going to choose a particular track. You can simply just take courses, and that helps. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing here, and let's look at the questions. So Raj, will there be any application waiver offered for attending this session? We don't offer application waivers unless and until you're part of certain US-based organizations. The list of that could be found on our website, our admissions website. But generally, if you're an international student, mostly you will not qualify. And the first application that you make at UT Dallas, the first program you get into, that's the one where you'll have to pay the application fee. Now, let's say after that you want to do another program or you want to enroll for a certificate program. Those are also applications. You will never be asked for an application fee. Current student and alums of UT Dallas don't pay any application fee. So it's only the first time that you'll have to do that. Okay. Scholarships about the Flex program. So I've applied for the scholarship on December 20. When can we expect? All right, that's a great question. Now, first of all, I said that we do offer this on rolling basis, which means that we look at your profile, we look at your submission, we look at your whole application docket to make a decision whether you should get a scholarship or not. If you make the cut, at the start, in the very first cycles, the cut is really high. If you make the cut, you get a scholarship, we will inform you. If you don't make a cut, we will not reject you. We'll put you back into the pool. And the next time when we come back to it after 2-3 weeks, we would have changed the criteria a little bit, lowered it a little bit. And at that point of time, if you make the cut, we will let you know. Right now, we have not rendered any decisions. The school just opened last week, so after the break. So I would say that the first round of decisions should go out later this month. But thank you for sending it early enough so that we have everything. And make sure that your official scores are also sent to UT Dallas. Not only sent, but they're received by us. Are there any additional supplement documents that I need to submit? Well, just the application that you could have found online. That's the only thing that you need to submit. And are there merit-based scholarships? So for an incoming student, the Dean's Excellence Scholarship is the scholarship that you can go for. But once you're here as a continuing student, there are a lot of donor scholarships that open to you. Donor scholarships, TA-ships, that's from your second semester that gets open to you. Any donor scholarships, by the way, or any scholarship as a continuing student is only available every fall. Is there a GRE cutoff required for the score? Not really. I mean, GRE is one of the things, or GMAT is one of the things that we look at in your scholarship application, but there is no cutoff. There is no a score that we can say, okay, if you have that score, you will get your scholarship. Because again, this is something that is dependent on the pool. If the pool is competitive, of course, the standard, the cutoff goes high. So I would not put a finger on a certain score. There have been times where, in one semester, there was a particular score or, a list of attributes that we were able to give them a scholarship for. But for another semester, we could not. So it totally depends on the pool. Another example to just highlight this is, sometimes our students end up deferring their admit for whatever reasons. They're not able to join us for a certain semester, and they may have a scholarship. When they defer and they apply for the scholarship again, the pool has changed now of people who have applied for that scholarship. So they might lose out on it because, every time the competitiveness is different. Is home-based GRE considered? We do consider that. That's fine. Ratna, I'm a working professional with 4 years of experience as letter of recommendation mandatory from work location. Well, with 4 years of experience, you will need only one letter. And as I said, one has to be from a working professional. It doesn't have to be from the same company that you work for. It could be from somebody else who's working in a different company. Your referee has to be somebody who is a working professional. Now, whether they've worked with you or not is a different thing. It doesn't have to be from the same company. Can the GRE scores be sent after a few months of submitting the application? So in your case, Ratna, what I would recommend is once you submit your application, ask for a GRE waiver. And that way, if you are granted the waiver, we will proceed with reviewing your application. And if it qualifies for an admit, we will send you an admit. But yes, you can absolutely do that. And there are students who do this. What they do is they might be preparing for a GRE or GMAT, but they want to secure an admit. And they feel that without the score, they are competitive. So they do take a chance of submitting an application. And quite a few times they get the waiver. So that way they have secured an admit. And then they will write the GRE or the GMAT and then later submit the scores for consideration for a scholarship. But if you're not looking for a scholarship and you're good with a waiver, then there's no need to submit it. Okay, Tushar, I'm a working professional with 2 years of experience. Before starting of the program, I have to submit one professional recommendation. See, we are looking at, at the time of the application. Around that, what is your, how many years of experience you have? What I would say is in your case, if you just want to submit one, start with that. If the admissions committee feels that, because when we look at your resume, we figure out how much of work experience you would have by the time you join us. If they feel that they need other LORs, they will let you know. But if you're able to get 3, don't wait for it. Don't wait for us to get back to you if you can get that. But you can start with one. I would say that we'll possibly need the other 2 as well, but you can take your chance. The official scores have been received by the college. Okay, that's good. So since they have been received, and again, any documentation that we need from you, There is a to-do list that gets created once you apply, and that to-do list is the best way to know whether we have received it and we have officially vetted the document. Sometimes when you send your scores, the portal, the ETS portal, let's say for GRE, it will tell you that the score was sent, but it takes about 2-3 weeks for that score to be received by us. So just wait on it. As soon as we verify the score and we are able to officially put it on your file, we will mark your to-do list with that action as completed. So that's the best way to know what we're doing here. Okay, we kind of came to the end of the questions very quickly. Are there any other questions here that we can help you with? I'm a fresher and completed my graduation recently. Can I manage business without any experience? Is it okay? Absolutely, you can. I mean, it's good to have experience, but we have a significant number of our students that don't have any experience and they are doing really well in the program. See, there are certain things that are required to be successful. It can be a very technically heavy program. So some things like R, Python, and SQL. Before joining the program, if you can just brush up those concepts, have some understanding of the basics, you are already ahead of the rest who may not have invested that time in. Having no experience is not something that will be held against you. Our classes are made of all sorts of people. We have people who have no experience, then we have people who have some experience, and then we have people who have a lot of experience, and they all sit in the class and they provide different value. Experience is great to have, but the way an experienced professional thinks and the way a non-experienced person thinks, they all have some unique capabilities that need to be brought to the class. So we are okay with people who have no experience. And sometimes we have seen people who don't have experience or they don't have tech experience, and they're pivoting from non-tech backgrounds into the course. They end up doing well. Maybe it's just because they feel that they need to work harder, and they end up getting better results because of that. So don't worry about the no experience piece. That's not going to hurt you too much. Jan 15 is the deadline, so Finance gives their recommendation after. Yes, they can do that. Yes, not a problem. Just list them in the application. Until the time you have listed them, we are good with it. Now we'll wait on your recommenders to send the letter of recommendation. And again, Jan 15 is not like that. After that, we are not going to accept any applications. The regular deadline for admit for, and I'm assuming this is fall 24, is May 1st. So even if you submit it after Jan 15, we will still review it. Now, the only difference is after May 1st, if somebody sends their application at that point of time, and this is for fall 24, after May 1st, they will have to pay a $75 late fee, but we still will look into their application at that point of time as well. We in fact look at applications all the way until the start of the semester. In fact, Tuesday of the next week is when spring 24 is starting. And to be honest, if a student had to send an application today, yes, it will not be reviewed by Tuesday, but it will be a late review, but we'll still review it. For international students, I don't recommend such thrills of applying a week before the start of classes, because for you have to work your timeline backwards. You have to look at, okay, you've gotten, if you have to start a program, you need to have, as an international student, if you have to start a program, you need a visa. If you need a visa, you need an I-20. An interview. If you need an interview, you need an I-20. If you need an I-20, you need an admit. So for each of these stages, if you give it like 1.5 to 2 months, you're looking at, I would say conservatively, if you have your admission and your I-20 in hand by, let's say, April, you're good. April or May. Looking at the number of slots that are available for visas and all, I think if you're looking at fall 24, you should have your I-20 in hand somewhere in April, so that you're looking for slots to book an appointment. Are there networking events set up by UTD? Are there any chances to connect with students from other universities or working professionals? Now, yes, we do have networking events that we do for our students all the time. We bring in working professionals. A lot of times these are people who have graduated from this school, several years ago, and they're now just coming back. They occupy very senior positions in their organizations, and they're coming back to interact with their students, work with you all on projects, be guest speakers in your classes, connect with you through mentoring programs. There's several ways through which they do that. As far as other universities is concerned, we do have opportunities through conferences and competitions that we host, where we let people from other places come and connect. A lot of times our students go out and they participate in competitions outside of the campus, and that's a good chance for them to meet people from other universities. For example, recently there was a competition that Purdue had organized. It's called Data for Good. And if you go to the Jindal website, you will see the story there. Our students won the regionals, and they didn't win the nationals, but they were really ranked high when it comes to the national one. But they were regional winners, and they went and they were able to compete with more than 100 different institutions, but also meet them during the nationals. So there are opportunities to which you can do that. The other thing is Dallas-Fort Worth is a big metroplex. So if you're going to networking events outside of campus or on campus, you're always meeting people from different backgrounds. A lot of times there are people from outside of UTD who are part of these events. So again, it all depends on you. If you want to meet people every week, it's possible. It is absolutely possible that you are networking with the right people every week. It just has to be intentional. A lot of times we forget that networking doesn't happen by itself. We have to be the catalyst for it. And there are students who do it very well, and they're able to get the results also in a very timely fashion. Like, for example, they want to get a job or an internship, and they've spent about 4 or 5 months networking with people. They end up with whatever they wanted from a internship or a job perspective. Or, to be honest, networking and cultivating your network is a great thing, because jobs are one benefit of a network. There are so many other things that you get. Mentoring. You might end up being in a network where there are people who are, legends of the industry. They are ready to mentor you. Or, you never thought of a business before, starting a business, but through your network, you got that idea and you got a great business partner. So there's so many different benefits. But to your question, you will never tell yourself that, oh, there is nothing to do here, or I don't know how to go about networking with people because there are no opportunities. Absolutely not. That is never going to happen. We are blessed with the kind of opportunities in this, not only on the campus, but in the Metroplex. Ratna, so in the website, the course fee is mentioned as 50, but in the payment, it is 125. What is the reason? So Ratna, I believe you're talking about the application fee. So are you applying to the right program? Because for the Flex program, the fee is $50. We also assess another $50 for your foreign credentials evaluation if you've got your undergrad degree outside of the US. 125 tells me that you are applying to the cohort program. Now, if you want to go for the cohort program, that's fine. But if you're going for the Flex program, you'll have to change your application. Okay, I'm currently in the undergraduate program for business analytics, and I'm planning to fast track by fall 24. When is the right time to apply it for the graduate program? And I'll be waived for requirements like absolutely. So one of the good things of the fast track program is that you're able to take up to 12 credits from graduate coursework while you're an undergrad student. So once you apply to be in the fast track program, and you need to complete 90 credit hours for that, your GPA should be a 3.2. 15 of those credit hours should have been taken at UT Dallas. Once you meet those requirements, just simply contact advising. They'll ask you to fill out a very simple form. Hardly takes 2 minutes to fill that form. And once they process you as a fast track candidate, you just need to work with them and figure out what those 12 credits are. You need to take at least one course from the graduate program. You're not required to take all 12, but the max that you can go is 12 credits. And once you graduate from your undergrad degree, you have 1 year to start your grad program. So either you do it right after graduating, or you wait for a semester and then come back. 2 semesters from the time you graduated from your undergrad degree, that's up to you. 1 year is the max period in which you have to return back. And of course, if you're on the fast track path, none of the things like the GMAT or the GRE or the letter of recommendation, all of these things are made for you. You have a different path altogether, and a better path, because if you have the ability to take 12 credits max, you're literally doing 1/3 of your graduate degree while you're an undergrad. So there's a lot of benefit in being a fast track student at UT Dallas. Okay, what's the criteria for scholarships other than GRE and academics? Well, we look at your whole profile. We look at, so if I have to give you a scholarship, I will look at your letter of recommendation, but I will also read your statement of purpose. See, when you write your statement of purpose, it should tell me scholarly reasons for why you want to do this. Yes, there are always some financial reasons as well, but I will not give you a scholarship just because you need money, because technically everybody who applies to our school comes with a financial need. So we really cannot use that. Highlight how you will be making a difference to the student community here. How is this degree and your participation is going to change some things at the school? And once we have that clarity, you become a good candidate for us to get that scholarship. Okay, Ratna, thank you for confirming that. So if you're going for the cohort program, that's the fee. But if you want to do the flex program, that is going to be different. And Arun, thank you so much for that comment there. Are the official college degree and transcripts required for scholarship? Since no, we don't need them for your scholarship purposes. Yes, once you're admitted, we would want you to send that to us as soon as possible. The only official thing that we require is your official GMAT or GRE scores. Okay, but we do give time to our students. We understand sometimes it takes time to get these transcripts or the degree certificates, which is okay, but we will still offer you the scholarship if you have the official GRE GMAT score. Which course is better, flex or cohort for international? It depends on you. You know, if I talk about the flex program, in terms of the number of courses, it has far more offerings than the cohort program. You know, there are, as I said, and I'll talk about flex here. You have more tracks, you have more options to take from. Sometimes there are more sections that are offered for the same course. For example, if you have to take the stats class, you know, there might be 10 sections available for the flex students, whereas there might be 2 of them or 3 of them for the cohort students. So depending on which program fits the bill for you, in terms of the options available to take, you can go with that. What cohort offers is there in the flex as well. So flex is our bigger umbrella under which cohort and online are also there as smaller programs. If you're looking for that flexibility in terms of courses, I would say go for the flex program. Ratna, what's the approximate fee for the MSBA cohort program? It's $55,000. It's a set thing. And irrespective of the number of credits you take, you know, you will end up with a $55,000 bill. However, that's where I talked about the flex as well. And it goes back to Yash's question. As you take more credits in the flex program, the per credit hour rate goes down. So students who end up taking more credits can also do their program in a lesser amount of time, less with, you know, paying lesser fee. So I would say a flex student with scholarships or some kind of other support can move between $40,000 to about $65,000 without any support. You know, if you, let's say you don't have any scholarships, but you're amped up on the credits, you bring the credit per credit hour rate down yourself, which in the cohort program is fixed. Now, again, there is no major downsides of that, but you have to think about what kind of flexibility are you looking at? And based on that, just decide. Can I complete 18 credits per semester in the cohort as well? Yes, you can. That is the standard UTD thing for graduate programs. I've been working in the US-based bank and have a policy of not writing. Oh, Karthik, not a problem. If you know somebody else who doesn't work in the same organization but is a working professional, you can ask them to write a letter of recommendation for you. That we are not asking you to get a referee from the same place where you work. Sometimes people don't want to use a referee from the same place, which is totally acceptable. So till the time this person is a working professional, that's the goal. Whether they worked with you or not is not something that we are looking at. Whether they worked in the same organization is not something. I mean, let's say our students who don't have any experience, how will they get this letter of recommendation? Well, they'll get it by reaching out to somebody who's a working professional. So again, you don't have to reach out to people in your organization only to get this letter out. They have to be just a working professional. Now, the more senior they are, the better it is. Of course, don't ask a new trainee to write a letter for you. But if they are a manager or above, it's always good. But somebody who's not a fresher in the organization, let's put it this way. Somebody who's not a fresher and has moved beyond at least one level is a good enough candidate to write that letter for you. Very good question. These kind of things can always come to your mind as to who's the best candidate to write these letters. So thank you for asking that. I'm sure others also may have thought about this question, and this helped. Okay, we are at the end of my list of questions here. You have to mention their organizational email or personal is enough. Well, we'll have to identify them as to who they are. I would recommend using their organizational email. But if that's a constraint, you can use their personal email and ask them to make sure that they put it in the email that that they are a working professional. Where are they working? What's their designation and all. But please try to get their official organizational email here. Again, we are telling you what is recommended and what is preferred, but we also don't want to put you in a spot where you just feel that you cannot move forward without an official email or not. If that's the case and you're left with only the option of using their personal email, go ahead and use it. Does it make any difference if I don't apply in this round, apply in the regular round? That should be fine, Yash. The only thing is, if you are somebody who's trying to look for a scholarship, remember you have to be admitted first. So the sooner you send in an application, you're admitted, the better it is. But if you decide I want to send it after Jan 15th, no problem. I'm from a non-tech background, and can you suggest what are the programming languages that can help so I can learn the basics before joining? Great question. R, Python, from a programming perspective, when you come here, your stats and your modeling class will be using R. So that will help you there. Python, for a lot of our data science related advanced courses, we use Python. But for some of the other data engineering courses, also Python is used. So if you are good with R and Python with the basics, you should be good. The third thing, which I absolutely feel is a necessity, is SQL. Any platform. You don't have to just stick to Oracle or MySQL, whichever it is. Learn a little bit about it. NoSQL, like MongoDB and all, is also a good one to just get some, dip your toes in it. This is just to get you started. Now, when you are getting started, we do some boot camps as well to get you off the ground. Those boot camps help a lot in terms of just getting you acquainted with some of the topics. But remember, those boot camps happen closer to the start of the semester. If you have time and you can just start something on your end to learn the basics, and there are a lot of free resources available online, you should be able to do this well. We also provide some resources to our students, self-study resources once they are admitted in the program to just get them started. So you'll have different streams helping you with the same thing that, once you are getting ready to come to the school, there are things you can do on your own or through our boot camps to just get a head start. Okay, Raj, if the company does not offer a letterhead, or would it affect the application process? Well, the person can put it on the letter, what their designation and all is. If they can get a letterhead, sometimes people put a logo on a document and that is sufficient for us. But if they don't have it and there's no way to get it, well, just make sure that they specify it exactly who they are in the letter. Okay, again, I'm at the end of my question list here. You have a few more minutes. Feel free to send in any questions that you have. You're welcome, Raj. And again, this is not the last time that you are asking questions. As I said, send us your questions. We have a program email, which is the best place to send us an email, ms, and I'll just type it here, msboan@utdallas.edu. If you have more questions, send it to us. We make sure that they are responded to fast and you have the necessary information available. But these webinars are scheduled every few weeks. The same page where you went to sign up for this one, you go to that again. Or if you want to see the recording, watch the recording, it'll be on our YouTube page. Just search for Naveen Jindal School of Management and you'll see a lot of videos out there. But do stay connected. Do ask your questions. We are beyond excited to have you as a potential. A lot of our students that we now look at as great alums, they all started at the same stage where you are right now. So this is always exciting. And we're doing this on the day when we're welcoming a big class. We have a little more than 100 students that are starting in the Flex program in spring of 24. We have about 40 of them that are starting in the cohort programs, about 150 brand new business analytics students across the different. Oh, and online also has about 10 of them. So yeah, about 160-ish students that are starting the business analytics program this spring, and we'll be welcoming them this week. But we hope to welcome you also soon. So please do send us your applications, your questions, and whatever it takes to get you off the ground here, and make sure that you take you're making a very well-informed decision. Well, thank you, everybody, and to everybody for your kind notes in the chat. Very good questions. Please let them come to us. But at this point of time, whatever you're doing over the weekend, have a great one. And we will be in touch very soon.